What is going on, everyone? We have a lot to talk about today for Week 11 waiver wire pickups. We have a lot of players out there. This shouldn't be happening, but we got to talk about these guys. I want to give you guys the insiders to help you guys out and win your fantasy games. First, I do want to give a quick shout out to our sponsor, which is W Energy. W Energy is an awesome energy supplement that gives you a boost of energy for either work, school, gaming, podcasting, whatever you're up to. W Energy is awesome. No jitterness, no crash. Use promo code NSPFT for 10% off of your purchase. Awesome drink, you guys. Now, let's get into some fantasy football. First off, let's talk QBs, all right? If you are one of those guys who like stream QBs, Daniel Jones is your guy. Daniel Jones had one back week against Seattle, and people forgot about him. They dropped him. They're done with him. Why? This guy's pretty consistent when it comes to points. Yes, he's not the most flashy guy. He averages, 15 points a game, but you know what? That's enough for me. That's a reliable back. And this upcoming week against Detroit, the worst defense in the league, and especially against QBs for fantasy football, Daniel Jones is the guy to have. So he's out there, he's available. He's only owning 40% of leagues. Go pick him up. Up next, a guy that I really don't like talking about, but let's talk about Deshaun Watson. He's still suspended, but he's going to be coming off of suspension, and when he does, he might be a top fantasy QB. Ever since he's joined the NFL, he's been a top 5 fantasy QB. I don't think it's going to happen this year, but hey, if you're desperate for a quarterback and you need someone like now, you got a great team, but you're lacking that QB position, take a chance. You know, Low risk, high reward type deal. So Deshaun Watson, he's available out there. Go pick him up if you absolutely need him. So that's it for QBs. Let's move on to running backs. This is one running back that I've been talking about for 3 weeks now. It seems like I'm talking about Rashad White, and everyone and their mother is talking about him right now. But now he's owned. Actually, he's only rostered in 8% of leagues, which is kind of head scratching. But after this week, he's going to be owned in probably 50 to 60% of leagues. You have Leonard Fournette going down with a hip injury. It is minor. I did look at the reports. It did say that he will be okay after the bye week because they are heading into a bye week this upcoming week. So Rashad White, a lot of people are like, oh, he's going to go back to the running back too. I don't think so. Slowly, week by week, he's been taking more and more reps and opportunities from Leonard Fournette. And this past week, it's kind of like the icing on top. Like I said, I know he got injured, but black and white, Rashad White. Oh, that's pretty funny. Rashad White is going to be a league winner down the road. So go out there, go pick him up. Up next is another guy that I'm talking about for 3 weeks once again, and that's Isaiah Pacheco, right? Everyone, there's that rumor coming around saying Isaiah Pacheco will be that starting running back for the Kansas City Chiefs, and he didn't have a great game. He didn't have a great game last week, but they totally ruled out Clyde Edwards-Helaire. He is not injured. Nothing happened. They just totally kicked him off. He's no longer what it seems like part of that running back crew. Is just Isaiah Pacheco and Jerick McKinnon, aka Jet McKinnon. I like to call him Jet. So if you are one of those who look at my fantasy notes, which you can find on our Discord, so on our banner on top of our YouTube, our Discord is there. I post my fantasy notes on there every single week on either Monday or Tuesday. So Isaiah Pacheco, he goes out there, he leads that backfield. He had 16 carries compared to 7, which was Jerick McKinnon. And then again, Clyde Hiller had 0. So he's clear the running back one. He will be the first and second down back. The one thing I don't like about him is that he's not a pass catching back. So if you're on a non PPR league, this guy would be pretty ideal for you. But he's out there, he's available, only owned in 26% of leagues. Go pick him up. It's a nice back to have, especially if he's going to be the number one back. 16 carries a game. I like that. I like that a lot. Up next is another guy we've been talking about for a little bit is Jaylen Warren. My value on Jaylen has gone down pretty big. I thought he was going to go out there. I thought he was going to be the next Rashad White. I thought he was going to be the next Kenneth Walker, Ramondre Stevenson. On that struggling Pittsburgh offense, I know they won last week, but it looks like they finally know what they want to do with that backfield, and that is to keep Najee Harris as that first, second down back and keeping Jalen Warren as that third down guy. Now he is a great pass catcher, and the only way I would recommend you guys putting a high waiver wire or waiver pick on him is if you're in a deep league, 12, 14, 16 man league, and only if you're in a PPR league. If you're not in a PPR league, you could struggle. He might not produce anything for you, but if you are in a full PPR, this guy could help out your team tremendously. I don't want to say tremendously, but a good week to week flex. Moving on, we have one more running back. We have a lot of running backs here. We could talk about more, but one more running back I do want to talk about is Elijah Mitchell from the San Francisco 49ers. Now, no one expected this, right? I kind of had an idea because the way Kyle Shanahan likes to run things, but Elijah Mitchell took a little bit more snaps, or not snaps, a little bit more carries than Christian McCaffrey did this past game against the Chargers on Sunday Night Football. And that was kind of shocking a lot of people. So he did produce a lot of fantasy points. He did have some catches out there. Now, this guy's a dynamic back. I'm not going to disregard that. But moving forward, we already heard Kyle Shanahan come out and say that the idea is to have Christian McCaffrey and Elijah Mitchell carry 50% of the snaps. Is that a little worrisome for Christian McCaffrey? It could be. You know he's going to be getting all those opportunities to score. So he's a great pass catching back. So I wouldn't worry too much. But Elijah Mitchell, he's not just a handcuff guy. He could potentially be a solid flex position for your fantasy league. I know he's owning 60% of leagues, so just in case he's out there, go out and get him. A couple guys that you want to check out for is Jeff Wilson Jr. He's been tearing it up out there for the Miami Dolphins. So you could clearly see that he's taking that lead back spot from Raheem the Dream Mostert. And then Gus Edwards from the Baltimore Ravens. Yeah, Kenyon Drake had a great game last week. That's because Gus Edwards is gone. J.K. Dobbins is injured. Now Gus Edwards is coming back. I could totally see him taking that lead role once again until J.K. Dobbins comes back. So that's all I got for running backs. Let's go ahead and move on forward to the wide receiver position. I'm not too crazy about these guys, right? Don't get me wrong. If you need some wide receivers, these guys are available on the waiver wire. Number one, Donovan Peoples-Jones. I actually picked him up right before this past week's game. So Donovan Peoples-Jones, he's only rostered in 13% of leagues, and his targets and numbers as far as fantasy points has been going up and up and up, which is awesome, right? So for the next 2 weeks, you could definitely, I don't want to say rely on him, but utilize him if you do have guys on the bye week. So go out there, go pick up Donovan Peoples-Jones, but keep an eye on him. If you are going to keep him, you cannot start him whenever Deshaun Watson takes place, right? We don't know what's going to happen whenever Deshaun Watson is that QB1. You don't know if he's going to like Amari Cooper a lot more, which he is the wide receiver one in that team, or if he's going to scavenge a lot of those opportunities with runs. We don't know what's going to happen. So play it safe. Donovan Peoples-Jones, he's available right now. Could be a positive pickup for you in the next 2 weeks. Next up, I have to talk about this guy because he had 3 touchdowns in one game. I'll talk about Christian Watson, and that kind of stings me a little bit as a Niners fan. I wanted the Niners to go out and get Christian Watson, but he landed with the Green Bay Packers, who's been struggling left and right. But you know what? The Mr. Glass 2.0, which is Christian Watson, finally found himself and his connection with Aaron Rodgers. He scored 3 touchdowns in one game, which is absurd. The last person to do that was not Jerry Rice. I think it was Deion Sanders, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong there. Let me know in the comments down below. But Christian Watson, he got 8 targets last week, which is a lot on that team. I mean, when you have a banged up wide receiver room like Randall Cobb, Romeo Dobbs, this is the guy to look out for. I don't think he's going to be a rest of season wide receiver, but hey, he might be. So pick him up. Low risk, high reward type guy. Going up next is Kadarius Toney. I did not expect this. So Kadarius Toney absolutely lit it up for Kansas City. I know you have Hardman dealing with the injury. I know Juju went down with the injury, so Kadarius Toney could look good for 1 week or the rest of the season. We don't know, but you want to go pick him up. I got a lot of stats here that I do want to talk about, and that's all I want to talk about because these stats are pretty darn good in a fantasy perspective. You got 2 carries for 33 yards, 5 targets for 4 catches, 57 yards, and a touchdown, 3.8 yards per route ran. which is the most out of any Kansas City player that's a non-running back. He got targeted 33% of routes, which is the most besides from any running back, and 8.8 yak yards, which is yards after catch per reception, which is a team high for the Kansas City. So you guys tell me that's I feel like that's the type of guy you need to have on your team. Kadarius Toney looks like he is an absolute baller on that team. So go out there, go pick up Kadarius, and he could be a league winner if they continue this trend with him. Like I said, I did not expect this, and I don't know if it's going to happen for the rest of the season. But if he's out there, if he's available, go pick him up. He's owning 40% of leagues, so go out there. Next up, I do want to talk about this real quick, wide receiver wise. Cortland Sutton, if you want to go check if he's available, go out there, pick him up. I know Jerry Judy got through an injury, doesn't look that serious. He might be coming back, but just in case, not the biggest Sutton fan out there, but moving forward, let's move to tight ends. I only got one for you guys. I got Cole Kmet. Finally, this guy has turned the tables, man. You have Justin Fields finally learning how to play his type of game with the Chicago Bears. He's using his feet a lot, and this guy Cole Kmet, he's seen at least a touchdown in the past 3 games. They're utilizing their tight end. They like their tight ends. A little nice cushion for Justin Fields to get off on, and he's only owned in 44% of leagues. Pretty solid for me. 3 straight games back to back to back with touchdowns and productivity. Go out there, go get yourself command. Go check if Dalton Schultz is available. He's owned in 76% of leagues. Go check if David Njoku is available. He's owned in 61. I know he's coming off an injury, but he's heavily utilized on that team. So yeah, that's all I got. If you guys are streaming defense, a lot of defense, which I do, go out there, go see if you can find yourself an Eagles against the Colts, Rams against the Saints, Ravens against Panthers, or Niners against Cardinals, which is a Monday Night Football game in Mexico. So no home field advantage for anyone there. So go out there. Hopefully you found this video helpful. So if you did, leave a comment down below. Leave us any question. We will be live tonight, Tuesday, 6 o'clock, to answer all fantasy questions. So join us live. Ask us whatever you like. Hit that subscribe button. Once we hit 300 subscribers, we will be doing another giveaway. We just did one 2 weeks ago. We want to do another one because we're getting close to our goals here. But yeah, once we hit 300 subscribers, we will be giving away either an autographed mini helmet, jersey, or football. So stay tuned, hit that subscribe button, leave us down a comment of whatever questions you guys have for fantasy football, and hopefully this video helps you win your fantasy football game. And until next time, keep on grinding.